Ready? All right, so I talked about when we use borders, you still want to have a mathematical reference as to how long your border should be for your quilt. So let's just talk generally. If this was a 6-inch block of any kind, okay, I would assume that I made my blocks 6 inches when I had finished piecing them all together. The full finished interior block is 6 inches. So I have 10 across my row here this is the side of my quilt, always attaching sides first, then the top and bottom. So I have 10. That means that this measurement should be 60 inches plus a ½ inch for seam allowance. So 60½ inches is the length of the border I would have made had this been just a straight piece of fabric, okay? At that point, I want to take my border, fold it in half. I'm going to find that halfway point. And it should be 30¼ inches. Okay, I always put a little pin in there. And again, we're looking at this in a general sense here, not specific to our project today. Okay, I'm going to take that location, take that pin placement, and I want to put it at exactly the halfway point on my quilt top, which for me, for this quilt, is right here. Okay, so I would lay that down in that position, right sides together, and pin it. I'm then going to pin both ends of my border. Just skip the middle, go straight to the end. Okay, I know that mathematically I have cut everything the way it should be, and it should fit. Okay, I'm going to place a pin at the top, and I like to place a pin down that side because, as with when we're sewing our units together, say we have 2.5 inch squares, we're sewing them together, we want to make sure all of our sides are in the right position, okay, not just the seam allowance side. All right, I'm going to go to the other end. And I feel some resistance here, and that's okay. Okay, I'm going to pin that in, and I'm going to pin this in. Now, we're looking at this as if we had no piecing throughout the border here. At this point, what I'm going to do is then just work through, make sure that it's all laying up flat, and I'm going to pin it a couple of more times through this length in case I need to ease in my top or my border to work with the underlying fabric, okay? Same on this side. This is the side that gave me a little bit of resistance, so I'm going to make sure that all of my seam allowances are opened to the extent that they should be. Pin that down. This is the one place that I do pin, ladies, is on my borders, because I want them to, because I've cut them mathematically, and I know that my top is very close, but it might not be exact, so I may have to ease in a little bit. Maximum I have ever had to work in is about ½ inch, and it eases in nicely. It really does. It's amazing how that works. And anyway, I'll go ahead and sew that 1/4 inch seam allowance, keeping my eye on anything from my top side that needs to be paid attention to, such as points or whatever on that side. And there you go. Okay, so that's a general border. But what we have here are some very specific borders.